Good morning, my darlings. It's a Sunday morning today, a really beautiful Sunday morning, and we are heading over to Charlie's mum and dad's house today. We've got, I think we're just gonna have a lovely barbecue. It's always a couple of degrees warmer where they live. They live near Windsor, and I swear obviously the further south you go down in the UK, it's warmer, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty toasty, I think. In their garden is very sheltered as well, so it's always just so lovely to lie out or recline with a nice drink and good company. So it's going to be a really lovely day today. I've given myself what I call the heatless curl facelift. It's like, do you remember back in the day, was it the 90s, when it was so popular, all the supermodels wore their hair in those really slick back buns or ponytails, and it was called the Croydon facelift because it really does like pull your skin taut. So I feel like I've had mega Botox or something when I do heatless curls sometimes. But I actually did not even blow dry my hair. I let it dry naturally while I was doing some pottering around outside, and hopefully we'll have some nice curls later on. But I really want to make a black rice and asparagus salad to take with us. So I'm gonna get cracking on that now. I thought I'd go and see if there's any radish ready to be harvested from the garden. So that's first on my agenda, and then carrying on with just a few weekend house chores until it's time to go. Well, how lovely. We have got the soundtrack of the Sunday church bells. So I'm doing a few loads of laundry this morning, and I might even leave it outside while we go to Charlie's mum and dad's. I don't know if that's a little bit risky, but honestly, we've not had rain in forever. And I don't think we're due any, at least for the next 10 days. So I think it'll probably be fine to leave it outside. What you just saw was me topping up my detergent drawer in our machine. And I love the fact that I don't have to worry about doing detergent every single time, because the machine is very clever and it kind of auto dispenses the right amount based on your wash. It's so clever. And I have just put in the most amazing scent. This is a company that I love. It's a British brand called Tallow and Ash. I think I first heard about them probably about 18 months ago, but what I love about them is they do laundry products which smell amazing. They work with like master perfumers, so the scents are just amazing. But they don't use any toxic chemicals, and you guys know that that is so important to me. I don't want to miss out on my laundry smelling amazing, but I don't want any nasty chemicals, especially on clothes. We're wearing them all day, every day, like workout gear, things like that. I've tried a lot of products which claim to be a little bit more natural, and sometimes they just don't get those workout clothes especially smelling really nice afterwards. But these really do. This is the first time I've tried the fresh pistachio, and oh my gosh, it's a little bit kind of musky, but with the sweet and nuttiness of pistachio. I love pistachio everything. I'm about to make myself a pistachio iced lilac matcha. It's so yummy. It's my favorite thing right now. And I've got the laundry shampoo and the conditioner, but what I think is really cool, and this is new to me, are their fabric cleansing perfumes. I'm not gonna lie, I chose this one because I liked the color, but it is their Rain and Salted Moss cleansing perfume. So this actually, again, amazing scent and no toxic ingredients. This kills 99.9% of bacteria, which is so clever. And what I've just been using it for this morning, normally I would use these for just kind of like misting our sofas, cushions, window seats here in the kitchen, just to make everything smell a little bit better. So most fabric sprays, they just make things smell a bit better. This actually cleans as well, which for me is multitasking game changer. But what I've been doing this morning, because Charlie and I yesterday got our summer cushions out of the shed, and they weren't dirty enough to fully like unzip them and wash them, definitely not, because we washed them before we put them away, but they'd been sitting in a shed for probably, well, like 6 months. So I just gave everything a mist over with this. Developed with UK chemists, our fabric cleansing perfume eliminates odours and fights bacteria and viruses, safe for pets, vegan and cruelty free. So you spray from 20 to 25 centimetres away. A scent of rain-soaked woods, amber and earthy iris, with a mid-note of jasmine, coconut and rose, and a base of musk and amber. It smells amazing. It's got rid of that slightly fusty smell that we had on our outside furniture and given them a little bit of a clean as well. So that is a game changer. And I was just having a little look on their website, and they've got some deals on at the moment, and that's what I've got here. So I ordered their spring energy set, and I think for the price of this whole bundle is worth £38, but you can get it for £20. You basically get this whole set of their minis, and this is such a good way to try out the different fragrances that they've got. So this one is called Odyssey. We've got Duvet Day. This is a really fresh kind of cottony one. Oud. This I think was the first one that I bought from Tallow and Ash, their Oud. For me, it's actually a really nice kind of winter, making your knitwear smell amazing. Makes your knitwear smell like Le Labo just from washing it. There's a few here that I've not tried. So this one is called Date Night, Cherry Liqueur, Almond, Turkish Rose, Sambac Jasmine. That's one of my favorite scents, with a base note of vanilla, wood and patchouli. Absolutely gorgeous. You've basically got their Discovery sample pack. Aurora, that's another really, really nice one. This is bergamot, jasmine rose, musk, patchouli. Something else that I love about these is I personally take these with me on holiday. So this is a laundry shampoo and conditioner, and if you're staying in an Airbnb or you're going on holiday and you're going to a villa, just pop a couple of these in your suitcase. Even if your villa doesn't have a washing machine, you can do it in the bath. If you're going away with your family or something, they're just really handy, but also great to try out their fragrances. So if you're looking to elevate your laundry game, I couldn't recommend this any more highly. The Discovery set also comes with this, which is what I use to wash my face cloths, because otherwise they just go all over the machine and it's just a bit of a pain in the butt. So for now, I'm going to pop all of these in here. I just love that we don't have to use boring scents anymore. We don't have to have these ugly bottles. I mean, these just look really chic out in our laundry area. And the fragrances are just absolutely heavenly. So if you've not tried Tallow and Ash before, I'll leave them linked down below. I love that it's a British brand. I love that there's no toxic ingredients, and it just leaves our laundry smelling amazing. I was just about to put this away, but how good does this smell? This is what I'm going to move on to next. It's their Summer Fling Deep Cleaning Power Non-Bio for sensitive skin, and this has got mango, lychee and orange as the top notes, then osmanthus, orchid and coconut milk, and then caramel, vanilla wood, and musk as the base note. How gorgeous does that sound? Oh, I cannot wait to use that. Right, let's make the salad. Okay, I've just put the laundry out. I think it's safe to say Charlie's jeans and boxers have never smelled so good. I was just thinking if I could design my dream laundry duo, I would do, and tallow and ash, let's talk, but I would love to do a herbaceous border scent. Can you imagine? So you get the kind of minty freshness of verbena and salvia, and then you get the light, what you would imagine an anemone to smell like, a little bit of jasmine like we've got around the door. What else? I don't think lupins have much of a fragrance, but almost like the earthiness of the grasses. We've got some lavender as well. That would be gorgeous. That would be my dream fragrance, because then as you're wafting around in your clothes, it reminds you of your happy place here in the garden by the herbaceous border. Anyway, I'm gonna go and pick some radishes to pop in the salad. I think wisteria has got quite a nice fragrance. Flowers are so beautiful, it's a very delicate scent. Quickly stopped by Strawtop on our way to Charlie's mum and dad's, and I thought I'd quickly show you the herbaceous border. I'm not going to go too close because we've got guests staying in this end room at the moment. Actually, I'm the middle one, but it's our friends in the middle one. But the alliums are coming out, and it won't be long until the hydrangeas are blooming. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. I have to say, Charlie did a great job managing the renovation of the car park as well. It looks like a Daylesford car park now. It looks really beautiful. It's Monday afternoon now. This is the second time that I've filmed this first time chatting to you on Monday, because unfortunately I've just had to say goodbye to another camera. I accidentally spilt some of my salad dressing from yesterday on my camera, and I'm so annoyed because if you follow any YouTubers that use The Canon G7X camera, you'll probably have heard us banging on about the fact that they are literally like gold dust. They're hard to find because the particular model, Canon no longer make them anymore. So I actually send mine off to get repaired because you can't buy them anymore. If any of you guys in your cupboards have an old Canon G7X that you don't need anymore, please tell me. I would love to buy it from you. But yes, unfortunately, my salad was amazing. Everyone loved it. The brown rice. Hang on a second, it's raining. We need to go and put some fertilizer on the garden. Sorry, that was all a little bit chaotic and exciting all at the same time. Basically, it's Monday today and we've seen on the weather forecast, we've had pure sun for the last 10 days. We are due pure sun for the next 10 days. Honestly, I don't actually remember the last time that it rained. I think throughout the whole of May at least, there's been no rain, and rainwater is so much better than hosepipe or tap water when it comes to watering your garden. So I was so excited, which I don't normally get excited over rainstorms, but I was so excited when I saw that it was gonna rain today. But then it was beautiful sunshine, really warm up until like 20 minutes ago, and these big dark clouds suddenly, you know how on a storm day they kind of appear from nowhere? If you've watched Twister, you'll know. They just kind of, it'll go from blue sky, sorry, this is talking about the weather to the next level, but they just suddenly kind of like go like this and they just expand. Well, that literally happened 5 minutes ago, and Charlie 20 minutes ago was like, no, don't bother putting fertilizer on the garden, it's not gonna rain, look at the blue skies. But I said, sorry, I know this is so boring, but I said, oh, I might just go and do it anyway. Anyway, that is why when I was just filming with you a second ago and suddenly it started raining, I had to just dash outside and do my fertilizer. So I have just put an entire tin of So Vital's fertilizer over my veggies, and the rainwater will help to kind of take all of the goodness from the fertilizer into the soil. This is an organic growing approved plant food. I mentioned this a couple of videos ago and I wasn't sure if it was made with chicken poo. It's not. It's completely natural, free from poo fertilizer, but I have used an entire tin and I probably need 2 or 3 tins a week because of the amount of growing that I'm doing. And it does say, actually it says every 2 weeks. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, so you can put this in a watering can, but yeah, I've just sprinkled it on the soil surface. Oh, that was exciting, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Anyway, that was not what I was intending to come on and do with you guys this morning, but any gardener will know if you get rain, it's ideal if you have got fertilizer. I'm now a little bit trapped in the greenhouse, but look, the blue skies are coming back. So I do have one other really random errand that I need to do. So let's brave the rain and get back into the kitchen. This is such a funny sensation because the pavement is so warm and yet it's wet. Oh my goodness, that was wild. Okay, so what I actually need to do is try to get rid of a mark on this dress. So this arrived from Dish, however, it's actually arrived with a stain on it, which is a real shame. I guess, I don't think this was us unboxing because my mother actually unboxed this and I don't think she was wearing any makeup, so she won't have had anything on her hands. But what I'm going to do is just use a lime, because limes or lemons are really good at removing stains. I'm just going to give it a little rub, and then if it does get sunny, I'll leave it outside, and that almost acts as a kind of natural bleach. I think it was actually one of you guys that mentioned this on one of the recent videos, so let's see. Because it's such a beautiful dress, but it's just got this massive, definitely looks like a kind of foundation stain going across the front. There are so many things that you can use a lemon for. They're so kind of antibacterial and great for cleaning. And when I've used this, I will Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean my kettle. Just boil up your kettle with a lemon or a lime in it, and it's a really good lime scale remover. That's actually worked really well. Ooh, so exciting. Okay, let's do a before and after. So this is what the inside of my kettle currently looks like. It's not a terribly pretty sight, although I don't know if it's lime scale or just the copper changing, I don't know, but either way, this is gonna help. 5 minutes later, this is bonkers. This is what you'd normally expect from April showers. Torrential rain and then beautiful sunshine. Ooh. Look at the storm over the church. Crazy. I'm sorry, what I just did was so dorky and so boring. I just got so excited about weather. But here in the UK, it's just very changeable, and when we have a few days of sunshine, we don't stop banging on about it. We call it a heat wave, and then we get the first rain that we've not had in goodness knows how long. I mean, you saw what my reaction just was. Totally ridiculous. Anyway, I'm just making myself a cup of coffee because I did not sleep very well last night. I don't know why, maybe I ate a little bit late, but I want to have a really productive afternoon. And also, after work later on, I'm heading back to Daylesford. I was there this morning for Pilates, but I'm heading back with my mum for a, I think the class is called Tonics and Teas, and there's a workshop, just an hour-long workshop, and it's all about fermentation. So we're going to be learning about, I think, kefir and kombucha, and I think it should be really fun, so I can't wait to go along. I promise it won't become my next obsession. It very nearly became my next obsession after our last trip to the Maldives because we did a kombucha workshop while we were there. Kombucha is delicious, and because it's fermented black tea, it's actually really good for your gut as well. But I just don't know if I could ever really be bothered to make it myself at home. I don't know, but maybe that will all change after this workshop. Anyway, while the sun's shining, I'm gonna make the most of it and get back out into the garden. Benefit of having the lime in the kettle is it's actually giving a really nice kind of diffused steam smell into the kitchen. Currently doing is using this to just kind of almost like scratch the fertilizer in with the soil. So I'm just raking it into the soil, and Dexter, I'm pretty sure, just cocked his leg up on my peas. Dexy, can you not pee on my peas? That's really rude. Show everyone what your hair does when you're caught in a rainstorm. I don't know if you can see, I always think he looks like a really handsome Italian man that's got a little bit too much hair gel in when he's been caught in a rainstorm. Let me show you. Don't I look handsome? He looks very suave. Very suave. I adore you. Yeah, so I'm just massaging my fertilizer into the raised beds. We're surrounded by black clouds, so I'm hoping we're gonna have another downpour in a second. It's now pouring with rain once again. I have resumed my weatherman duties. Oh, is it called petrichor, that smell of rain on land that's not been rained on in a while, and it just smells so like fresh and earthy? Can you imagine if you could bottle that smell? Gosh, that would be amazing. I'm just gonna stand here and take deep lungfuls of it. Oh, gorgeous. Ooh. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a really clear line inside the kettle of where the water has been up to, and the water's gone really kind of milky, which is obviously all the limestone? What's the word? Lime scale. This is amazing. I'm actually going to pour more hot water in to see if we can clean even more. This has been here on the 𝑭𝒂 for probably like 20 minutes. It's very slow to boil anyway, but this is really working. I'm so excited. When I first took the lid off, it was properly like bubbling away, like a little lime jacuzzi over here, and it smells so good in this room now. To admit, maybe making myself an afternoon coffee was not the best idea, because I'm actually having a bit of an anxious afternoon. I think I realise that I get like this on days when I spend too long on my computer, and it's funny because I feel that I'm only really doing my job properly when I'm filming, which I know is really silly, but if I spend almost an entire day on my laptop, in the back of my mind I'm thinking, Josie, you've not actually created any content today, you've not filmed anything, you've not shared anything online, so you've not been productive. But then when I'm filming or doing something out in the garden or something, in the back of my head I know that my inbox is just bulging, needs my attention. What I really need is 3 days this week of cloudy weather so that I can go and just tackle all of my computer-based admin and not feel bad about not filming. I know, it's like the world's smallest violin. Poor Josie doesn't know whether to do the gardening and film it or do her actual computer-based work. I know, no sympathy required, just saying it how it is. I would make myself, to calm my anxiety this afternoon, a lemon balm and mint tea, but my kettle is preoccupied. I could just use the coffee machine. But what I would love to do, if I didn't have so many things on my to-do list, would be to just sit outside now that the sun has returned and have a little flick through this. So anyone that's into like herbology, or I can never know what the word is, people that like herbal teas and tinctures and things like that, I don't really know what the technical term is, but they all recommend 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and in particular this book on medicinal herbs. It's literally called A Beginner's Guide, and it says, effective, safe and inexpensive medicinal herbs are simple to grow, can be used naturally to fortify your body against common upsets. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 is the godmother of modern herbalism, maybe herbalism is the term I'm looking for, offering a fresh introduction to growing and using 33 of her favourite herbs, complete with tips on introducing a herb patch to your backyard garden and easy to follow recipes for brewing restorative teas, blending soothing salves and making tinctures, oils, syrups and pills. Which is exactly what I just love the idea of doing. So for example, here we've got sage. There's some information about growing sage, some information about the medicinal uses. I didn't even know that sage had medicinal uses. It says here it's a well-known cold and flu fighter because of its astringent, antiseptic and relaxing action on the mucous membranes. I had no idea. I'm hoping it's going to tell me how I can use it. Yeah, okay, so apparently you can gargle sage for a bad throat, and it gives you the recipe. You can make a mouth and throat spray, make a sage pesto, a healing herby paste. Yummy! Thyme. I just want to learn all the things that I'm growing in my garden can help me with and other people with. Like, how wholesome if a friend or a family member comes over and they start sneezing, or they say, oh, I've got a bit of a tickle, and you're like, don't worry, I've got something in my garden that can help you, and then you just whiz something up. I just love the idea of that. And creamy nettle potato soup. Nettles are amazing. I'm just really loving finding out about plants, as you guys know at the moment. Calming lavender massage oil, that sounds amazing. I don't know how the book is laid out. Is it by time of year? I think it's just alphabetical. Basil, dandelion, here we go. This is what I have a lot of at the moment. How to grow dandelion, I don't think anyone needs any help with that. How to make a roasted dandelion and chicory tea. Echinacea. I need to check that I'm growing echinacea. I'm not sure. I think I might head out to the greenhouse and have a look at my seed collection and just check that I have started off all of the plants that I need to make my herbal garden of 2025 an actual thing instead of something that I just keep talking about. So let's go and see what seeds need to be sown. Sorry, today has become a kitchen vlog. I have realized that I actually need to eat something now before we go to this tonic and tea masterclass later on. So I'm just gonna whiz up a spring greens mac and cheese. And I have a joke to share with you. I love a cheese-based joke, and I made this one up the other day, and I know that it's really not cool and not funny and will only possibly make 3 people in the entire world laugh, and those 3 people have to be quite hardcore Andrea Bocelli fans. So it's niche, but I'm going to tell you guys the joke anyway. What is Andrea Bocelli's favourite kind of cheese? 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. Do you get it? Oh my gosh. I said that joke as I kind of made it up to my mum and Charlie, and as they're both, as I am, big Andrea Bocelli fans, they got it. I'm not going to explain it if you guys don't get it, because it would just take too long, but there's my cheesy joke. Anyway, I'm going to make a spring greens mac and cheese, which is basically my normal mac and cheese but with spring greens in it. So I've got a few leeks. I'm going to probably actually only use 1. I'm going to slice this up, add it to my pasta cooking water just a minute before the pasta is finished. Also, I'm going to chop up an asparagus, throw in a handful of peas, and it's just a little bit greener, a little bit fresher than my classic mac and cheese. Speaking of cheese, I have got Andrea Bocelli's favourite cheese here. I've got a nice Comté. I've got some organic cheddar, which I would say is essential for a mac and cheese. I've got, ooh, I don't know what that is, but that is nice. Oh, I don't know, but I'm going to put all of that in. And I've got this much Parmesan left. So first of all, I'm going to grate. This is going to be a 4-cheese spring green mac and cheese. How heavenly. Let's do it. Made it back to Bamford. I'm with Lala, looking gorgeous in her little ghost M&S dress. And we are heading in for our tea and tonic masterclass. The spring green mac and cheese was, I would actually give it a 10 out of 10. The leek just makes it splendid. Yeah, very nice. Next time I think I'd maybe add a touch of wild garlic. Anyway, we're here, yes, so we're looking forward to our little masterclass. Look at this lovely setup. Got some of the spices, ginger, lots of bits and bobs, tea blends. And this might be like a little ginger or something. Thank you.
Lots of different things drying for the dough. So I end up putting them on tea towels, but I put them on either a chopping board or baking tray, just so I can move them. You can also stack them. So I'm just using it like the most natural, low energy dehydrator ever.
Like flower pressing.
Yeah, and it looks really pretty as well. So I took a picture of the blossom from that tea, and it just looked stunning. It looked like a poster of, you know, spring flowers. But I just, I mean, you can do them whole, but if you separate them out, they dry a bit better because you're not pulling any moisture. If I have room, I'll just leave it open, but often if I'm at River Cottage and I'm leaving a few different trays of herbs, I just fold the cloth over like that, and sometimes I'll just have a stack of baking trays with cloths on them. In the cloth, what it does is just absorb some moisture, and it helps dry it. It also helps protect it. So you're leaving it aside. 100 grams of sugar now, and my grains are much perkier and happier. And a litre of water, which I do have here. It's better if it's filtered. I just use, I don't buy bottled water to do it at home, but I just use a water filter at home. You can use tap water, but it's better if you boil it and cool it. So I'm going to add the grains to this mix, and then the bacteria also like some extra nutrients and a little bit of extra sugar. So adding a bit of dried fruit, apricots, dried figs, dates, you want to make sure they're not sulfur, so they don't have any chemicals to but just make sure too that they don't have oil or any additives. So usually cranberries have a bit of oil added to them. Just something really pure and natural. A bit of dried fruit, and I always use organic ginger, and I had a few people saying that they were making it and it wasn't fermenting, and I said, did you use organic ginger? And they said no. So I thought, okay, well, maybe there's something to that. So I made some with some just corner shop organic or non-organic ginger. Mine works, so it does work sometimes, but it makes sense that if you're using something that has, obviously, organic produce, it's going to not have chemicals that kill the good bacteria, so you're going to have more good bacteria to start with. So it's better if you can use organic ginger, but we're in the right place for that. So a couple of slices of fresh ginger. And then it also likes a bit of citrus. So a couple of slices of fresh lemon, lime, blood orange, kumquat, with a little bit of citrus. I use a plastic sieve because if the grains are in constant contact with metal for a long period of time, and I usually sieve it quite quickly, but the metal can damage the grain, so I do use this little plastic sieve for that. And I just pour the milk. So this is just organic whole milk. And I then sieve it through, and it looks quite thin at the start, but it does, as you pour it through, it gets thicker at a good ratio. So the closer, and the culture I have here is called a 𝑗un, J-U-N, and that is one that has been brewed with honey. So if you bought a kombucha 𝑠coby that's been made with sugar, and you swap the sugar for honey directly, so you did like for like 85 grams of honey instead of sugar, then the culture might die or be unhappy and not properly ferment, because honey has antibacterial properties. But you can get the culture used to the honey if you swap the sugar with a little bit of honey. So instead of 85 grams of sugar, you can use 80 grams of sugar and a teaspoon, 5 grams of honey, and then next time do 75 grams of sugar and 10 grams of honey, and then migrate it over. You just want to make sure your tea doesn't have any additives. So some teas have unnatural, so they'll have natural flavorings, but they're flavorings. This culture, you can see actually has some extra layers that are a bit dewy, but really you just want one little piece of it. And as you brew, it will start to create a new layer on the top. So I have that layer in there, and you need a couple of tablespoons, 3 or 4 tablespoons of the liquid. I'll just add the rest of that in there.
Back home again after a lovely workshop with Rachel. I can't believe I didn't realise this before going, but upon checking her out on Instagram, I've realised that I actually had, or we had, Rachel's book at home already. She did the River Cottage handbook all about fermentation, but she was so knowledgeable. Lila and I both learned so much. We got to try lots of different samples, and I don't know if I will make my own proper dairy kefir. I'm sure one day I'll try it, but I definitely am going to try making water kefir. I'm going to have a look through this book and remind myself of the exact recipes, but she was talking about all the different infusions you can make with whatever's growing. It can be herbs, it could be you know, pop a load of rhubarb in, even the tops of strawberries that you would normally just throw away, stick them in for some infusing of flavour. She also showed us a really cool way of drying out herbs and flowers that doesn't require a dehydrator, so I'm sure you can predict I will be trying that out very soon. I can't wait to give that a go. We've all come home with these little jars of her bedtime infusion of tea, which has got, I think, primrose, rose, lavender, chamomile. So I've got the kettle boiling and I'm going to make myself a little cup of that as I get ready for bed. But my darlings, that is where I'm going to end the vlog. Hope you enjoyed it. If any of you guys have tried making kefir or kombuchas at home, then please let me know. Let me know any tips or any other books that you recommend, anyone that you like to follow that's good at it and shares advice. Yeah. So that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Good night.